everybody. Thanks again, Roshi. Um, so I'm happy to be here. I appreciate the opportunity. Um, and so let's dive right in. So I got the new koan book. It's not new really. It's new for me, but it's a koan book from our Dharma sisters. Um, it's called the Book of Householder Koans. And I know Roshi's talked about it before a bit. And so anyway, I thought I would check it out and talk from here this time. And I really love it, right? It's really an amazing book. I encourage you all to check it out. I feel it's more accessible than our traditional koan books for people who may be more beginning in Zen. The way it tells the stories and the situations that it uses for examples are more. I think they're taken from more modern situations. And so it presents koans. It's making koans more accessible. And particularly, I think people who are not full-time Zen trainees, right? So the koan books our traditional koan books that we work out of are part of a teacher's path. Of course, if you're working on koans, doesn't mean you're on it. You don't have to become a teacher. But if you do want to be a teacher, then you do have to work on these koans in our lineage. Um, and they're difficult. They can be abstract, and it takes years to really learn the subtleties of the language and how the koans work, to kind of get into the groove where you kind of get it. Oh, this is how they work, and I can answer different things from different angles through that experience of just going through them and learning by doing without knowing. And so this koan book it's right. There's a section on koans from home. I'll share my screen so you can see. Um, if I can, there it is. Okay. Share. Actually, I'm going to share my whole screen. Okay. Everyone can see that? Okay, good. All right. So, right, the Book of Householder Koans. And then these sections, there's home with all of these wonderful situations that come up around being at home. Raising children. What a great koan, right? What an amazing a category for koans that we haven't seen from all these old monks and young monks who don't have kids. Of course, they've been kids. That's a little different than having kids. Work, right? So all of us who aren't able to be doing full-time koan study and practice, these are koans you can access from that perspective of, yeah, I'm at work, I'm tired, I don't have time to sit, etc. So anyway, I like this. I opened it to this many gates of practice. I thought this is a wonderful category of koans, right? So it's a category of koans that is about coming from different perspectives. Maybe not as in perspective. And so this one I picked for today, I thought was really sweet and has a lovely feel energy to it, which is Kit's new practice. Where on the compass do you find being human? North, south, east, west. Look up, then down, or just Google. Kit asked the teacher, what practice should I follow now? Pretend to be human, answered the teacher. But I am human, Kit protested. That is why you must pretend, replied the teacher. And the reflection. A friend's 5-year-old crawled on her knees. Ruff, ruff. I asked her what she was doing. I'm pretending. Are you pretending that you're a cat? No, silly, I'm pretending to be a dog. How are you doing that? Ruff, ruff. I liked the game so much that the next day I pretended to be a human. I got up in the morning and took a shower. I made myself some coffee and did meditation. I said good morning to my husband and fed the dog. What do we humans mean when we say we're human? A cat goes meow, a dog goes ruff, a cow goes moo, and a human goes what? So I'll stop the reading right there. So yeah, what a wonderful koan. And so yeah, it really inspired me and got me thinking more about what it means. So first of all, this new practice, right? So lots of us are coming from different places, going different places. We have different practices that we do. We might be juggling, and Zen is just a part of a bigger of many practices. And so, right, if you're new to practice, what this is a koan for you, right? It's an informal koan. It's about starting to see our lives differently, starting to see how we're in our lives differently. And one difference that I believe and suggest is that we're on an intentional path of growth, which is different than just showing up once in a while, right? I show up once in a while, and sometimes I practice, sometimes I don't, and it's all good, right? That's different than saying, oh, I'm on a path in my spiritual growth, and I'm continually reflecting back on this path as I progress and I develop and I grow. I think I've been thinking, right? I've been thinking that that taking leadership is an important quality of spiritual progression. And so, yeah, I'm encouraging all of you who are on a path to simply reaffirm that you are on a path and that you are intentionally making progress. And sometimes we veer, we may call it falling off, and we get back on, right? I left the Zen Center about 5 years ago, 6 years ago maybe, And I was going through a terrible life crisis. I was just really devastated and completely just uh, self-absorbed in my pain and drama. Um, and it was too much for me. So I couldn't participate. So I dropped off. And and it took me a few years to remember. And this has happened to me several times throughout my life and my path. I fall off and then I remember, oh, I'm on a path. That's right. It's like I finally kind of snap out of it and I go, oh, wait, I'm miserable and things aren't working. What better time to remember, oh, I'm actually on a path. All right. I'm not spiraling downwards. This is just a dip in my path. And so I had to, I turned it around for myself and I was able to recover my desire to take leadership and to make progress, self-progress, and help others make progress. Right, and that's not specific to Zen. So it's a great universal koan to see that we're practicing. We're all practicing to be what we are. And so to take this seriously as a practice, right? So the koan's about a kid, right? He's pretending to be a dog, which is great. It's a classic example of letting go, of dropping the self and just being in the moment. And so, but once we grow up a little more, we realize, oh, if we really want to pretend to be something, we have to really practice and train. And it becomes much more complicated. But the essence of that is still universal and still true. This energy of I'm practicing, I'm pretending in my life. We get more refined and at it, so we hope people notice less and less that we're just pretending. My gosh, I'm doing student teaching right now. And man, talk about pretending to be something. Geez, right? I'm trying to pretend to be a teacher in front of a bunch of 7th graders. 7th graders with attitude problems, specifically. That's why they're in the class, right? So my whole life right now is about this pretending to be something I feel like I'm not. And it's very awkward and it's very difficult. I think all Zen students should have to do student teaching. How about that for a requirement? Oh my gosh. Wow. But so it's the best Zen training for me. It's one reason why I wanted to do this. I see teachers as models of citizens who are able to organize a group and take leadership and lead a group through process. It's incredible. So anyway, I'm not good at it. So that's one reason I wanted to do it, is to really step up my level of what it takes to be what I want to be. So we're acting, right? We're all, and the teacher, right? The teacher that this is my master teacher. She's pretending to be in charge, right? And I see it. I'm like, man, right? These students really aren't doing very good. It's hard to be a teacher, and it's hard to be a good teacher. It's the difference between those teachers you read about in the news. Oh, this teacher brought their class from the lowest to the highest, and now the kids are all doing science and they won a project. to be that teacher is just, it's a whole nother level. But they're all pretending, we're all pretending to be experts, and we know. So anyway, so we go through this phase in life where we try to be the boss. We try to be right. We try to be the one who knows what's going on. And then as it fails miserably, we start to wake up and realize, wait a minute, maybe it's not so good to always be the boss, or to be right, or to be sure. That's not working very well for me. So how can I recover this, the essence of not knowing, of acknowledging that I'm pretending and I'm practicing. And so basically, so the koan is talking about acting like a human, right? I did this yesterday all day after working on this koan. I was like, I'm a dog owner. Now I'm a dog owner. All right, I guess that means I have to take my dog for a walk. I'm a student teacher. Oh, I guess that means I better do something because I'm behind on my work, etc. Right? Every step of the way I can say, oh, now I'm a father. Now I'm acting like a father. I'm pretending to be a father. So the underlying idea here is that everything's changing all the time. We can never be anything for more, where, I mean, it's empty, right? Whatever I am right now, I'm not now. So that's the underlying understanding, is that I'm not a father, I'm not a person, I'm not a Buddhist, I'm not a teacher. I'm just the flow. And so how can we pretend to be Buddha? Right? That's really the question in the koan I suggest here. So for those of us who are acting like humans, right, the difference, one difference here is that it's, so, okay, so how can we act like the Buddha? How can we pretend to be the Buddha? And so, right, so like Seizen mentioned, Roshi mentioned, right, not speaking ill of the three treasures, and the precepts remind us that when I'm uncomfortable at work or at home or while I'm sitting, right, we can shift the self-talk that we do with ourselves. So when I get stuck and I'm feeling like I'm right, or I'm feeling that tension, that tightness that comes when I'm defensive, which I feel multiple times every day. It's like something isn't quite the way I want it to be, or someone second guesses what I'm thinking, how I think things should be. And so I take my posture and I think, oh, I have to defend this. If we can catch ourselves in that moment and change our script to something like, I'm not sure. I think you're right. I could be wrong. I don't hate. Right? So we start to practice. It's good to have a script, right? So we're kind of developing that as Zen students. We're starting to develop a new script for ourselves. And then with practice and concentration, we can have enough presence of mind to interject the new script into our dynamics or our patterns. And so this is the koan, right? This is the koan, to be a Buddha. To act like a Buddha is to change that script and have the presence of mind to remind ourselves in the moment, in the heat of the moment, oh, I could be wrong. And if our script is that I'm always wrong, then the new script will be, I think I'm right. I think I do know what I'm talking about. My intuition is telling me this, right? So whatever our script is, right, is we want to practice letting that go and shifting it around so that we feel more closer to our truth. And so right, so the old adage, fake it until you make it, this is kind of the opposite. This is more like make it until you fake it. Because we're making it, right? We're all making it. I'm making this right. I'm making this choice right. I'm doing this correctly. I'm trying to do this right, until we realize that we're faking it. And then I think, oh, well, I'm trying to do this right, but I may not be. Well, I think this is how it is, but I'm probably just faking that. I'm just pretending that I'm right. And so, yeah, to be able to shift our script so that we're continually realizing that we're pretending to be whatever we think we are. And then embrace the pretending, right? One of my goals in my class is to be able to be really animated and let go of being so self-conscious. When I'm nervous, I'm very unanimated. I'm not very funny when I'm nervous. And so to lighten that up and just to be like, do accents and maybe sing a song and be funny, right? A couple of kids in my class just out of the blue, like started answering their questions in an English accent. And I was like, and these are special ed kids, right? It was like kind of like a magical moment. And I was like, wow, they just let go and just pretending. I wish I could do that, right? And I do a terrible English accent. Not even going to try here, but I'm going to practice today after, right? I'm going to practice being an actor so that I can pretend to be a teacher, the teacher that I want to be. So, and it's, yeah, so it's a challenge. It's a real challenge for me. Because I'm here giving a talk as a Zen teacher, but guess what? I'm still insecure, and I'm still judgmental, and I'm still a jerk. Believe it or not, right? So this koan is just a really good reminder for me and for us to practice, pretend to be the Buddha as a koan. If you're a Buddhist, right? If you're not, then pretend to be whatever you want to be in your spiritual path, right? Be that until you can remember that you're pretending. So I think that's all I got for now. I'd like to open it up for questions and comments. Thank you all.